to another episode of Carolyn and Her Clothes. But as you can see by the intro, that this episode is not going to be about my clothes. It's going to be about my transformation into a healthier mindset. Yeah, if you want to pause right here and then scroll back, okay, it's all right. I'll wait for you. I know you want to check out my body and scrutinize it and analyze it and, can't believe it's me, but that was me. So when I first was born, I was a chubby little baby, and I was a chubby little girl. I was always the last picked on any kind of team. I couldn't run. I was also probably one of the smallest, if not the smallest, in my grade. And I was always overweight. Like, I would always have to wear a size up in clothes in comparison to my peers, and my mother would always have to hem the pants because they'd be at least 2 sizes too long now. When I was 11, I decided to go on my first diet, in my own mind, what a diet consisted of. And I did lose weight, as you can see by the before and after pictures. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to diet at age 11, and I was trying to be what I thought an angel and eat only healthy foods, but of course I was not accurate at the time as to what is healthy. But by the mere fact of restricting my calories, I did lose weight. And unfortunately, that did not last. I have to say, at the beginning of every school year, I'd be like, all right, it's a new school year. I'm going to be good. And what would happen is during the summertime, and throughout the school year too, I would put it back on. I probably from September to December, I would lose weight. And then from December onwards, I gain it. But my bulk of my weight gain as a kid was always over the summer, because I was typically home alone and watched a lot of TV, ate a lot of chocolate chip Entenmann's cookies, Coca-Cola, root beer. I remember being 11, 12, 13 years old in the house and eating a whole package of Oscar Mayer bologna. I mean, I ate a lot as a kid. And I remember trying to lie down on my bed every fall to try to get my designer jeans on, and just, with a zipper, trying to pull them up, even using that wire hanger and tying the wire hanger around that little hole and trying to squish them up that way. I still remember trying to cram myself into my jeans back then. Throughout my high school years, I lost and gained. I remember being 17 and having my license and going through the McDonald's drive-thru and getting like a 9-pack of chicken nuggets and 2 large fries, and maybe even a shake too. I like to eat, and I like to eat a lot of crap, and no doubt about it. And the problem is I'm an extremely picky eater. And everyone's like, well, why don't you just, switch to healthy foods, Carolyn? I didn't like healthy foods. I wanted crap. And that was part of my problem, too, is that, when I did diet and I cut out the crap because I wasn't eating healthy foods, I wasn't eating enough, all right? So I would immediately lose the weight because I was severely under-eating. And then as soon as I went back to eating my unhealthy habits, I would gain it all back. High school graduation, one of the pictures there I showed you, I was pretty heavy then. I went off to college, and instead of the freshman 15, I think I gained the freshman 25. I lost it that summer. How did I lose it? Well, that was the start of my Diet Coke addiction, except back then it was Tab. I would drink a lot of diet soda to fill my stomach up. Again, went back to college, gained the weight. I remember living right around the corner from a bagel store and me eating bagels all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with the bagel, but when you start eating them all the time and that's what you eat, it does put on the weight. So that was through college years, and in my 20s, I was determined to lose the weight, and I basically starved myself, and I got down to an unhealthy 95 pounds. I was thin, but I didn't look good. I was thin, but I was flabby, if that makes sense. They call them the thin fat people, It's like I had no muscle tone whatsoever. I was like skinny winny, and my sister told me, I remember my sister told me, I look like a broomstick with 2 knobs. I just did not look good. Of course, again, I would then put it back on because nobody can sustain that. It's impossible. And, I showed you some pictures there where I was dating my husband, one where I was at my friend's wedding and I was pretty big there. And got married, and when I got married, I again lost the weight for my wedding. When I was 33 years old, I was down to 107 pounds. And believe it or not, at 107 pounds, I was like a 2 size 4 from like the limited. So that's when I was skinny, like a size 2/4 at 107. So then that was my wedding day, and then pregnancy came, and I ballooned up to my pregnancy weight of 180 pounds when I was pregnant. Immediately after giving birth, I was not in good shape as a pregnant person. I was borderline preeclampsia. Did not exactly have an easy delivery. My daughter swallowed her meconium. And once I did give birth, I had terrible, terrible arthritis in my knees. Terrible, terrible pain. I couldn't even sit down on the toilet. That's how bad my knees were. So it was a combination of rheumatoid arthritis and the weight gain that it caused this to happen. So immediately, it was pretty easy to do. I wasn't starving myself because I was still breastfeeding or trying to pump, at least for that much. My daughter was always supplemented. But in the first 3 weeks of me being home after pregnancy, I lost 30 pounds in 3 weeks. It was amazing. I've never gotten the scale every day, and every day the scale's like 5 pounds lower. I mean, it just came off of me for the first 30 pounds. So then I was down to 150 something, and slowly but surely, like the next 10 came off, and then I'm gonna guess maybe when my daughter was around 2, I knew something had to change because I was still pretty heavy and overweight. So I joined Weight Watchers. And again, they did not help me choose healthy food to eat. Yeah, they gave me recipe ideas. Yeah, they encouraged healthy eating. But nobody was sitting on me and giving me suggestions of food I can eat that I like, because I am an extremely picky eater. So again, I hurry up, didn't eat as much as I should be, lost the weight very quickly, became a lifetime member, and then shortly after that, put the weight back on. Even when I was still going once a week, the weight was very difficult to stay off. And again, it's very hard to stay motivated once you do hit your goal weight. It really is hard. So that was my first bound of Weight Watchers. Then again, I'm gonna guess when my daughter was around 8 or 9, again, I said, let me try and go back again. And again, I was probably in the 140s or something like that. So I went back to Weight Watchers, did the same thing again, lost the weight very quickly, got back to Lifetime again. Again, I wasn't eating healthy. I was only eating like 3 things because those are the only healthy things I would eat. Nobody was giving me suggestions because, again, I'm a really picky eater as to what to eat. And the mentality there kind of put me in a position where it's bad food. You can't have it. It's bad food. It's unhealthy food. And it made me, I guess, go further into the taboo, you can't eat that. And thus, I would then deny myself that. And as everyone knows, the more you deny yourself of something, the more you're going to want it. So as soon as I would hit Lifetime, I'd be like, oh, good, I could go have the burger and fries, or the, sundae or whatever it is that I wanted. And then, of course, it would all come back on. In February of 2016, I had been talking to a coworker who is in Chicago, and she told me about Orangetheory. And again, I was in my early 40s. No, sorry, I was 47 at the time, and I was probably like 140 something pounds, probably somewhere between 140 and 150, I'm gonna guess. And I knew I had to do something. It was way too much weight for my frame. And I went to Orangetheory thinking, well, she's about my age. If she could do it, I can do it. And I almost died. When you go to Orangetheory, they give you a choice when you first go there. And they say, are you going to be a power walker, runner, or jogger, right? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like a power walker, I guess. I couldn't even keep up power walking. I was dying. I could not breathe at all. And that was back in 2016. And believe me, I've joined gyms over the years and then I just wouldn't go. Orangetheory is different. It's a highly motivating environment. It's a class that you take. You have to book in advance. You get charged $12 if you cancel within 8 hours. So that's on top of already an expensive monthly fee. And if you don't book any classes and don't come to the gym for a while, they'll pick up the phone and call you and say, "Where you been?" So they hold you accountable, you know? So that is why Orangetheory, besides the motivating environment, I can't even explain to you the people there that they cheer you on, not just the coaches, but other members, you know? They like to see you succeed and they want to see you succeed. And it's almost like a friendly competition there. That you're trying to outrun the next person or, you know, beat this person's benchmark on something, you know? So everybody works the hardest there. And it's not anything, you're accepted by everyone. There's people there of all ages, all sizes, and everybody's trying to do is motivate you to be the best you can be and the healthiest version of you. So, the first year I was there, I missed the first transformation challenge, but in 2017, I decided to do their transformation challenge that they have every year. And again, I lost the weight very quickly, and unfortunately, it came back. Now, you're gonna say, well, when you lost the weight, how much did you lose? Well, I probably got down to around 120. All right. Now, pre-nutrition and pre-exercise, that picture in the bathing suit I had in the beginning was probably when I was about 120 and I wore a size 4. All right. Keep in mind, I'm 120 now and I wear a size 0. And trust me, I had those size 4s. When I went down to a size 0, I thought I could get the size 4. Oh, I could fit in the size 4s. They were ginormous on me. I could fit 2 of me in there. So I had to get rid of all my size 4s and obviously buy new clothes. But what I'm saying to you is that the nutrition and exercise combined completely transformed my body and the shape of my body, okay? So, you know, Orangetheory really improved my cardiovascular health. I mean, I could not even walk when I started doing Orangetheory. I couldn't do anything, all right? Now I'm a runner. Now I run 2.5 miles each class. But back then, the thought of even doing a 30-minute treadmill block walking I couldn't even fathom it. It was so difficult for me. But now it's not a big deal, all right? So that's how Orangetheory helped me. It made me stick to a plan because it made me accountable. And I've been going since 2016, and here it is. We're going to year 6 now. It is the only gym that I've ever stuck with, and I have tried other gyms, even ones that were at my company, and all I had to do was go down during lunch or go down after work or go in before work. It's right there in the same building I worked in, and I still wouldn't go because, you know, I do a couple little things, little weights, and I don't know what to do. Orangetheory is a class. They tell me what to do. Everyone else around me is doing it, so it kind of makes me feel like a fool for not doing it. And then on top of that, you have your heart rate up on the screen so people know how hard you're working. If you're not in the orange when they expect you to be in the orange, you look like a slacker. So it's that kind of motivation that will make you do it. And then I did the transformation challenge, lost the weight, and of course gained it back. And, you know, the next year after that, they had another transformation challenge. And this time they brought in a nutritionist and a company. It's run by a husband and wife, but they have probably about 4, maybe even 5 nutritionists working for them now. And people from my gym use them that used to be, some of them 100 pounds overweight, and they all swear by them, all right? So I said, all right. I figured, I tried Weight Watchers. I've tried it on my own. Obviously, nothing's working. Let's see what the nutritionist says. So I listened to, they came to the gym. They did their free spiel. I raised my hand. I said, do you work with picky eaters? And she's like, sure. So the first nutritionist she put me with, and I say first because she left back to become a dietitian. She went back to school. So that's like a level above a nutritionist. So she left, but I had her probably for the entire time I lost my weight. So like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years I had her. And I think the reason why she paired me with her is because she had severe food allergies, and she was also limited in her diet and what she can eat. So she thought probably she would be helpful in finding foods that were healthy and nutritious and, you know, I would like. So she did, all right? So I have like a very unusual diet. My family makes fun of me. I don't eat eggs. I don't like eggs. They smell like farts to me. I just don't like them. So my diet is a protein-based diet, but don't think I'm eating like Atkins where I'm eating fatty meats all the time. It doesn't work that way. It's probably what most consider a high-protein, low-fat diet. It's not an absurd amount of protein. When I first started, I thought it was an absurd amount of protein, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's really not that absurd. So think about eating 3 meals a day of low-fat protein as your base for each meal. I eat the same amount of protein as I do carbohydrates every day, actually a little bit more in carbohydrates, so it's not low carbohydrate at all. I'm about 1,500 calories a day, and I work out 5 days a week at Orangetheory, and you know, for breakfast I eat a turkey sandwich, 4 ounces of turkey on a half of a protein wrap, all right? It's just a wrap, a flat wrap, but I eat half of one. I could eat a full one. There's no law saying I can't eat a full one, but I'd rather use those carbs for something else. So I always eat that every morning. The next thing that I eat is my peppers. You're gonna say peppers? Yeah, I roast peppers. I buy an absurd amount of peppers each week, cut them all up, roast them. It's a tremendous amount of work, but I love them. They're delicious. They're healthy for me. They're very low carb for what they are, and they fill me up. So I love them. I don't get sick of them, and they fill me up, and they're loaded with vitamin C. So healthy, nutritious. People's like, oh, you put a lot of oil on them. I'm like, I just put just a teensy-weensy bit of olive oil spray on the pan just so they don't stick. But if you roast peppers at a really high heat, there's a lot of water in the peppers, so they come out very juicy. I mean, there's like, matter of fact, I then put them all in a Tupperware, and the juices just run out of them. It's not oil, they're just filled with water. You just gotta roast them at a really high heat. I put them on the top rack of the oven at 400 degrees, put a little sea salt on them, and yeah, I eat 2 cups of those a day. The other thing that I tend to eat too, nuts. I don't care for oils. I don't usually, I don't eat avocado. I don't care for cheese that much. You don't like cheese? Not really. I mean, I'll eat it. I like it melted better, but I'm not a real big cheese person. So I get my fats through nuts, which are a healthy nut, and I do have a slight cholesterol problem, hereditary, so I also have to be careful of my red meats. On the plan that I'm on, there is no food that is not good for you. All food is good food. And you're gonna look at me, really? Yeah, my nutritionist even talks about eating donuts. All food is good food. Some food has more nutrition in it than other foods, but she wants people to get out of the mindset of bad food, all right? Because when you say this is bad and I can't have it, what's going to happen is you're going to crave it. She says, all right, just say she will say, you want a cookie? Have the damn cookie. Don't eat the whole box. Have the damn cookie, all right? And if you budget that one cookie in your plan every day, if that's your thing, cookies. For me, it's ice cream, all right? But if it's cookies, if you budget that thing each day and say, instead of that full protein wrap or full wrap or whatever you're eating, I'm gonna eat half of one because I want a cookie too, all right? You can do that, all right? It's okay that the cookie is not nutritionally good for you. As long as you keep it within your plan and use that like 80-20 rule. Yeah, some days you might be 60-40. 60 good nutrition, 40% crap. Other days you might be 100% nutrition, 0 crap. But as long as you keep it within that 80-20 rule and budget things in, right? You can make this a sustainable plan, all right? And you're gonna say, this sounds like a lot of work. Well, originally it was a lot of work. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm managing 3 different numbers, macros. I was managing my proteins, my fats, my carbohydrates. I'm like, this is a horrible diet. I will never be able to do this. This is hard. I can't budget this. And I was very frustrated. Moreover, I was not used to eating the amount of protein that they were giving me. And I was like, I can't eat all this food. I had a very, very hard time eating. I thought it was like too much food, because you gotta remember, I was used to starving myself, and now they're telling me I had to eat all this food. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I didn't think it was gonna last, but my nutritionist, she kept on me, and you're gonna say to me like, okay, so she made sure that you're eating healthy, nutritious food, because that's one of the reasons why I never went to a nutritionist to begin with, because I was for sure thinking they were gonna say, Carolyn, you're not eating broccoli, you need to eat broccoli, and I don't like broccoli. So I didn't want to go to a nutritionist because I didn't want to be told things that I don't like to eat. My nutritionist worked with me to find foods that I would like, all right? And she made sure I didn't undereat, which is really important. There were days that I didn't have my fat in. She's like, all right, Carolyn. She goes, I don't expect you to hit the number on the nose, but this is ridiculous. Your fats are way too low. So I would have to be forced to eat my food. She was holding me accountable to make sure I ate enough food. And, it was a time when I'm like, I can have bacon on this plan? She goes, absolutely you can have bacon. And then after about 2 weeks, she goes, Carolyn, you can have bacon, but not every day. So it's a balance. Yes, I can have bacon. So at Christmas time, we had bacon. Right? I then ate the leftover bacon for the rest of the week, and now I'm done with bacon for the next couple months. And maybe in a couple months, I'm going to buy another package of bacon, but it's not something I should eat every day because it's not healthy for you. But it's not something that's taboo either. If I want a piece of bacon or I have a craving for bacon, I can buy bacon and eat it. It's just not something that I should have every day. You're going to say, well, what about going out? Well, I do go out. I go out probably once a week with my husband, and wherever we feel like going. A lot of times it's the diner, Longhorn. We have a nicer local restaurant here we like to go to, but we try and save that for more special occasions because our bill comes out to about $200 every time for the 2 of us. So it's like, So yeah, we'll go to different places. A Cheesecake Factory is another one of ours, but that tends to be very crowded. And when we go on a Saturday, it's even super crowded. So we tend to avoid that just because of the crowds. But yeah, I get burgers. Yeah, no problem. I love burgers and fries, but it's a once a week thing. On this plan, you're allowed 1 cheat meal a week, not a day. And that's part of my problem is that, screw it, I'm already eating crap. No, it's just 1 meal. So when you think 1 meal, get in the mindset. If you're having a nice, long, leisurely dinner with family and friends, at most it's an hour and a half. So that's where you cut it. An hour and a half, I can eat whatever I want, and then boop, that's it. And you got to say that to yourself, because any more than an hour and a half is no longer a cheat meal. That goes on to a cheat, meals or days. Let's see, what else can I tell you about myself? So, I do balance what I eat. I'm not perfect. I definitely go off track. I was really good at the beginning of the pandemic, and then somewhere along the line, I put on 15 pounds. Back in April, I went back to the nutritionist because I had stopped going during the pandemic. The entire state was shut down, and quite frankly, I had not left the house. So at that point in April, I was like leaving the house, and I decided it was time to go back because the weight was not coming off. So I went back in April, and I've since lost 12 pounds. I still want to lose a few more. Not that I'm so set on being that weight I was pre-pandemic. It's more the way my clothes fit. And I don't really care what I weigh, it's how I look and feel. So I want to at least get to the point where my pants aren't pulling, you see the little zipper top poke out, I don't like that look. The zipper should be lying flat. Everywhere else fits, but it's my hips and that one little spot that it just pulls. So I want to get to that point where my clothes fit me and fit me well and nothing pulls on me. Let's see, I go to Orangetheory 5 times a week. I'm there at 5 a.m. every morning. Just last week, I also joined Pure Barre, which is a very good complement to Orangetheory. Orangetheory has a lot of cardio and focuses on the large muscle groups. And Pure Barre is it's low impact, and it focuses on small movements and small muscle groups. So I'm doing that to complement Orangetheory, not just for my weight loss or to tone up my body, which is nice, but it's also to kind of keep me busy and not shop. Well, this was part 1, and I'm looking at the clock here, and it looks like I've been rambling for 25 minutes. I hope that gives you an idea of what I do. Please post questions in the bottom and in the comments. And what I'll probably do is follow up with a session on, how I'm maintaining and answering any types of questions that you may have, and give you any other feedback that you are interested in. Well, thank you very much for watching this, and hope you enjoy seeing how I looked pre this weight. It's not easy. There is no magic solution. If you are looking to lose weight or try something different, my biggest suggestion for you is not to say to yourself, I'm going to go on a crash diet, or I need to go on a crash diet. You're setting yourself up for failure. Say to yourself, I need to make small changes to make a healthier me, and just adjust those changes as time goes on. Don't deny yourself of anything. It's setting yourself up for failure. Make small changes. Maybe instead of having that dessert every day, you have it every other day, or maybe once a week. Eat healthy 80% of the time. If you need to have that cookie every day so you don't eat the whole box at once, eat the cookie every day. Put the rest of the box way up on that top shelf. Trust me, I've learned the tricks. Well, thank you very much, and if you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, and take care, and until next time.